Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our lunchtime webinar today. We're thrilled to have James Dand with us, who's going to be talking about daily success routines, how simple habits can create big wins at work and beyond. And it's great to have such a fantastic turnout for this session. So this is brought to you by the Medway Healthy Workplaces programme, which is part of the public health team in Medway Council. So before we get started, we're just going to have a quick 60-second reset. The reason we do this is just to bring people together and help you to focus on the session. So Ariana Huffington, who's the founder of the Huffington Post, promotes taking a 60-second break just to reset at the start of meetings. It can help to refocus. Many of us are rushed here, join the call, maybe eating our lunch. So just take a quick breather. It's been shown to have many benefits, including increased concentration and productivity and focus. So we'll just take 60 seconds and just have a think about your favourite place, take some deep breaths and relax into your seat, maybe have a stretch if you need to, and then we'll get started. Okay, so that's, I haven't actually put a time on that. It's probably a very quick 60 seconds, but felt quite long as well. So we're thrilled to have James Dand with us today. So our daily routines can really affect our health and success of ourselves and our workplace. And our speaker today will share some tips and tools on how we can create effective morning, evening and daytime routines just to have that positive impact. James has worked with a range of organisations and business leaders to transform their mindset, their habits, their inner leadership, and he is a mindset strategist, so I had to practice saying that so not to get tongue-tied on the recording, and a professional speaker. He's local, he lives in Medway, and he's going to do this really engaging session. So these will be the only slides you see and then one at the end, and James is going to do something we've not seen on many of our webinars before. I'll do a bit more interactive online training with his whiteboard there. So do get ready to take your notes and join in this engaging interactive sessions. Please welcome James Dand. So James, over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. So I have a question for you. How many of you want to have greater health, well-being, success at work or at home? If that is you, type me into the chat. And Michelle, if you're able just to get rid of that slide for us, that would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Good. So if that is you, let's see who we've got. Let's see if we're on the right call. Me. Amazing. Good. We are in the right place. Excellent. Okay, good. So thank you for being here. I want to truly say that. Thank you for turning up. If you're watching this on the recording, thank you for doing that as well. But maybe now some of you are thinking, okay, well, this sounds great. Daily routine sounds great, but you know what? I'm really busy. How do I fit more into my day? But here's what we know. Most people out there, they want to have more success, more health, better working days, all those things. The problem is that they don't always implement the correct routines, the correct habits that would allow themselves to do that. So I've got a question. Have you ever been stressed in the mornings? When you wake up in the morning, maybe you've got a school run, something like that. Have you ever been stressed in the mornings? What about during the day? Have you ever found that maybe, oh yes, have you ever found that maybe during the day you lack a bit of focus, a bit of concentration, your energy levels start to drop? What about the evenings? Have you ever found in the evenings that sometimes it's hard to switch off, isn't it? And therefore your sleep's affected as well. So what I'd like to do is give you some knowledge, give you some tools that will help you implement things that will help with all of those things, so you feel a bit more in control. You've got some tools you can use. You might feel a bit more optimistic, a bit more positive, and this can help your physical well-being and your mental well-being. Does that sound good? Because that's what I do. As Michelle said, mindset strategist, I'll get that right. I'm a speaker. But a little while ago, I was working in an organisation. I was a manager in that organisation, and I reached a point where I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling burnt out, and I don't know what to do. I'm lacking my purpose and my direction. So I invest thousands and thousands of pounds into my own personal development. I start working on this, my mindset, and I start to implement some routines, some daily routines and daily habits, and really have never looked back since. So that's what I help other people with as well. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. What I'd love from you today is, if you're able to, try and avoid those distractions, try and participate where possible, and just be open to potentially learning something that could have a positive impact in your life. If that is you, if you agree to those things, please write the word agree in there. And again, if you're watching this back on the replay, so easy just to sort of dismiss that and put it to the side. But by doing this, what we're doing is we're focusing our mind and being open on actually learning something that could help us. We've got a great audience here. Agree, 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 agree. Wonderful, good. So let me introduce a concept. Oh, someone's unmuted. Okay, let me introduce a concept to you. We are either growing or we're dying. That's a universal principle. Think about Mother Nature. Something's either growing or we're dying. So if we took this image here, and let's just say that tomorrow we've heard this talk from James Stand, we thought, oh, that was interesting, but we didn't actually apply anything and we didn't change any of our daily routines. What we actually do is we take a step downwards there, and then the next day we do the same, and we're taking another step downwards. We're going down that way. Now, over time, we might not notice it straight away, but over time, what effect is that having on our daily work, on our relationships, on our health, on our well-being, physical, mental, spiritual, whatever it is? But what if the next day we decided to make a change, just implement one of those daily routines that I'll explain about? Maybe we start moving upwards, and then again, we're making that daily progress upwards and upwards and upwards. And now what we're doing is we're going in the right direction. And that is what it's about. You see, our habits create our life. They create the successes in our life, whether it be in our health, our relationships, our work, whatever. It's all about those habits and routines. So some of you might be thinking, well, that sounds great, James, but you don't know my life. So maybe, is this relevant to you? Are you someone that's like, I've got no time? I can relate to that. I can empathise. I know what the mornings are like for a lot of people. Maybe you've got to take the dog for a walk, something like that. You've got to get the kids ready for school. You've got the school run. It's a nightmare. You're stressed. All of those things. I get it. I've experienced it myself. Maybe you don't want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to do a morning routine. I don't either. You're feeling tired, it's getting darker at the moment, or maybe you're just unsure, how do I actually implement these things? So what about if I could do this? Now, something just pops up on my screen. Let's move that. What about if I had a way where I could get rid of those? He liked that. That was amazing, wasn't it? Don't watch that back on the replay. You'll totally work out how I did that. But what about if we had a bit of a key as to how we can eliminate some of those things? Because these are all valid barriers. They are there. But if we could find a way of implementing some routines where we could get rid of the fact that, okay, we haven't got any time to do it, would that sound interesting to you? If that sounds interesting, write the word interested in the chat. Are you interested in that? Because I reckon I've got a bit of a key to do this. It's a little bit of a secret here. It's inside this box here. And I'm not going to show it to you at the moment. Okay, we're gonna wait. I'm going to show you what's inside that box. So it is important to acknowledge what those potential barriers are. Let's see what we've got. So we've got, yeah, okay, people are interested in that. Brilliant. Okay, we're in the right place, like I say. So how do we do that? Because I found a way of creating some resources, for example, that guided me through morning routines, evening routines, that allowed me to do those things without taking any time out of my day, without affecting those other things. But first of all, let's go through some types of routine. See, we have different types of routine. Here's the first one here. Morning routines. This was the first thing I did when I started changing routines in my day. I focused on morning routines. So what morning routines are is as you wake up or shortly after you've woken up, what is it you are doing? Now, you already have a morning routine. You already brush your teeth, you have a shower, whatever it is. So what we're looking at is something that is going to help us with our working day. That is what we're looking at from a morning routine. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. Next, we could have an evening routine. What about an evening routine? Something that's there to help us wind down in the evening, to allow us to get good quality sleep so it sets us up for our next day where we might be at work. That would be good as well, wouldn't it? So again, I have specific things I do as part of an evening routine. Maybe you're interested in that as well. The other type we've got is daytime routine. So this could be anything during the day, which again could be a working day, it could be a weekend, whatever it is, but they're daytime routines. And I'll speak a bit about each of them. Now then, what is it that we actually do in those routines? What is this about, James? You might be thinking. Well, we have different components that we can put into those different routines. So here's the first one, for example. We can have routines that work on our physical health. They're physical components. They work on our physical health. Let's go through some examples. Now, maybe you already do some of these. Do you do any of these? Maybe some stretching, some yoga, something like that. Your breakfast is part of your morning routine. Maybe you take a cold shower. That's not always for me, but maybe it is for you. This is something I do every day to start with. Have a drink. So I have a bottle of water next to my bed. As soon as I wake up, think about it. Overnight, you haven't been consuming any water. So as soon as I wake up, that's what I'm doing. I'm consuming the water, rehydrating myself. We all know about the importance of hydration. It's a simple thing we can do. Maybe we want to do some breathing work. That's great as well. Or maybe, what's this lady doing? Dancing to music, whatever. It's something physical, some form of exercise, something like that. So we could do all those practices plus more. Now, here's the next thing that I focus on a lot. It is mindset or spiritual. Mindset or spiritual. So there's lots of practices, and again, it's amazing. I keep getting pop-ups. I'm just going to keep moving those. Might have to keep doing that. Mindset and spiritual practices. Let's have a look at some of these. For example, this one here, gratitude. Now that if you don't, in fact, just put into the chat if you currently have a gratitude practice. Just put that into the chat because I'd love to know who actually does gratitude as a practice, as a routine. So, for example, every morning I'm focusing on gratitude, and every evening I think back over the past day and I think, what am I grateful for today? What about those people in my life? What of my achievements or accomplishments or successes been for that day? It really puts you in a good mood when you're going to bed or sets you up for the next day. Let's see what we've got and who's put something into the chat. We have, yes, okay. Not done it recently. Okay, so maybe something you want to do. Good. When I remember, absolutely. So I'll give you some tools for developing that a little bit further. What have we got? We've got other things. So again, as part of our mindset, we could listen to different things. These could be actual specific visualizations or meditations. It could be music, but that could be part of it as well. We've got journaling or writing different things down. We've got meditation. We've got vision boards or focusing on our goals, focusing on our vision. What do we want to achieve? Where do we see ourselves heading in our life? That's really important. And then maybe prayer or some other spiritual practice that you've got. So then our third category, and well done, thank you all so much for the comments, and I will look back through these as well, which is great, and hopefully by you putting comments it will help other people as well. So the third type or category is our what I call day or life planning. Day or life planning. So what is this involved with? So this could be things such as setting goals, evaluating our goals, writing our goals down. Do we have goals? Do we know where we're going in life? It could be your daily to-do list. It could be things like, obviously, your calendar, scheduling tasks, things like that. Love a to-do list. Yeah, absolutely. We love a to-do list as long as it's working for us, because a lot of people write these massive long to-do lists and then they just feel negative when they don't achieve them. If we've got something that works for us, that's brilliant. And maybe, you know, sometimes looking at finances could be a daily thing, could be a weekly or monthly thing, but some kind of routine where maybe we're looking at those different areas of our life. So there's loads of different things there. And what I did was I thought about how can I actually create something that helps me achieve all those things, or not necessarily all of them, but some of those things. But for the time being, what I want you to do is I want you to write in the chat if there is one of those, either morning routines, evening routines, or daytime routines, or there's a specific component there, something like gratitude, that you think I'm now interested in implementing that in my life. Not to say you will, but you're interested in it. I want you to write that in the chat. Okay, doesn't mean you're going to do it, but what are you interested in doing? You think, yeah, do you know what? I might give that a try. Write that in the chat. And again, if you are watching this back on replay, how about writing something down? It makes it start to become to fruition, basically. It starts to focus your mind on it. So let's see if anybody is actually gonna write down something that they are interested in doing. Maybe something different, maybe something new. Write that down. Now, what I do have as well, stick around to the end, because I've got some resources that are going to help you with that. So if anyone wants those, I can give those to you. So if you're interested in that, stick around and explain more about that. So, okay, we've got evening routines. Brilliant. Love a good night's sleep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, there's some more up there, having a better morning routine. It's got worse since working from home. Yeah, easy to get into those habits, isn't it? Good. So probably weekly, fair enough, good. Okay, brilliant. Needs to create an achievable to-do list. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very important. Good. So keep putting those down. Keep focusing on that. But now you might be thinking, okay, that's great, James, but how do we implement them? So maybe, again, let's just refer you back to this barrier sheet here, okay, which again, okay, so what's how I'm doing this, Sylvia, eh? Magic. Maybe you've still got all of those things there. So this is what I did, because I had all those challenges as well, and I thought, how can I get around those? What can I do about it? So I started to create some resources myself, and this is the secret. This is what I have for my morning routines and my daily routines. Let's look inside this box. Woo, drum roll, please. It's very simple. Here it is. It's a phone. Do you all have a phone? If you do, you can use this, because what I did, I created my own audio files. These are things that I could listen to. So that means when I wake up, and I don't always want to get out of bed, and I might be in a bit of a, oh no, you know, this and that, I just put in my earphones, listen to that guided track. Now that guides me through some of those practices that you saw. It guides me through visualizations. It guides me through the goals that I'm setting for myself. It guides me through a gratitude practice, love, all those things. In the evening, this is what I do in the evening. When I'm brushing my teeth of an evening, again, I just put on a track. It could be a couple of minutes, it could be 5 minutes, and I'm listening to a guided gratitude, guiding me through what am I grateful for during that day, and I'm using that as a tool. What this does is it makes it easy. Now, of course, you still might do your yoga and your exercise and going out for runs and whatever those routines are, but using this, it covers a lot in a short space of time, and it's so easy to implement. Do we like easy to implement? Hopefully we do. So that's really works for me. So what I thought is, this is helping me. I'm going to make it available to other people, and that's what I did. So I created a product from it. It's available to other people as well. They can actually use it. So now you know some of those things. This is the key. In theory, for example, I could listen to something whilst I'm getting ready, and it takes 0 time out of my day. This is how you overcome the barriers. This is how you can still get your kids ready and all those things that you need to do, and listen to this in the background. Now, the ultimate is that you can just lie there or sit there or whatever it is. But if not, you can listen to these things as you're going around your daily tasks. This is how we actually make it work for our. Okay, so if I struggle getting up early enough to get everything done in time, I can relate. Also need to move more and do something physical during the day. So again, there's ways of implementing the physical as well, but certainly from a mindset, spiritual kind of thing, again, just listening to something as you're doing those tasks that you need to do can be a really powerful way. But you might be thinking, okay, well, this sounds interesting, but I still want some tips on what I can do to make this a real success. So let me give you some tips right now. So let me give you an example. When I first started my morning routines, I thought, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to stick to this. So this is what I did. Every day for a while in the evening, I wrote a commitment statement. That's the first thing you need. You need to, there's a difference between being interested in something and being committed to it. Being interested in something is what you wrote earlier on, isn't it? I'm interested in it. I might do this, might give it a go. Okay, that might work for you, but being committed to something is different. That means I'm doing this. So I decided to write a commitment statement, and it said something like this: I, James Stand, am committed to waking up tomorrow at X time and doing a morning routine of X duration. Sign it, date it. Guess what? The next morning I wake up, oh yeah, I've got to do that. I've committed to it, haven't I? When I've signed my name there, that's more important to me now. So there's little techniques, little tactics that we can use to actually increase our commitment. But that's the first thing that you need to do. Now, earlier this year, I decided that I needed to get a little bit more healthy because I'd got out of the way of running and things like that. So this is what I did. I said, I want to get fitter again. So instead, this was around January time. Now, we know what happens in January. Everyone says, right, New Year's resolutions. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do it 5 times a week for an hour each session. And of course, by February, they're no longer doing it. So this is what I did. I created a habit of doing exercising every single day. But I created what is known as a micro habit. A micro habit. See, this is something that's so small that really you've got no excuse not to do it. And that is what I did. So check this out. I said, I'm going to, every single day, I'm going to do 2 minutes of exercise. That is it, 2 minutes. Now, if I can't fit 2 minutes in, then something's going wrong. So I did that. Now you might think, well, yeah, James, okay, well, that's not going to exactly get you very fit and not going to get you to run a marathon, is it? I get that. But here's the thing. Here's what that achieved, because I still do this every single day. Here's what it achieved. Every day I'm thinking about exercise, I'm thinking about health. My mind is going in that direction. I'm thinking about enhancing my life there. I then added more. I started to run once a week, then twice a week. Now it's 3 times a week. That's what I'm doing. But I still do that 2 minutes of exercise every day. And by doing that, guess what? Tick, another success. Tick, another success. See, what we've got to do is we've got to train our mind to see ourselves as being successful. If we want to implement those daily routines, let's make it that we win at them. So what you can do, you can start off really small with a micro habit. You don't have to get it all perfect straight away. We're talking minimal time. Is that something you could do? Could you commit to 1 minute tomorrow of doing a daily routine? 1 minute this evening doing an evening gratitude practice or something like that? Is that possible? If that is, maybe then that's a good thing to do. Now, you can always have plan Bs. Now, plan Bs could actually be an easier thing or a harder thing. In other words, I know what it's like in my life. You know, I've got a 6-year-old son. No one knows what he's going to be like in the mornings getting ready. So sometimes my morning routine won't be perfect, but I have a plan B. I do something where possible. So there's nothing to stop you having different variations, different versions of these things to make it work. The other thing, as I said about when I'm actually doing that 2 minutes of exercise, is it creates consistency. So there's something called the consistency chain. And all it basically means is you do something every day and you don't break the chain. So your goal is the next day to do it again, and then the next day to do it again, and the next day to do it again. And you don't break the chain. See, this is why I now go out running 3 times a week, and now why I do 2 minutes of exercise every day. I do not wish to break the chain. I keep it going. You don't, consistency doesn't have to mean that you do it every single day. It could just be 3 times a week, something like that. But the idea is that you don't break the chain. Are we learning something here? Hopefully we are. And then the other thing I do, I've done it with my daily routines before. I've done it with like morning routines. I don't do that anymore for morning routines. But something I've done with my 2 minutes of exercise is I track it. So every day I've got an app on my phone. I just tick, yep, done that. So I can keep track. That's why I know I've done it for 200 and something days. That's really important as well. How can you track things? By using a free app, you can tick it, whatever it is. So I now have a question for you, because as I've said, our life results are dependent upon our habits and our routines. So with everything that I've spoken about today, I have a question for you. Which routine will you commit to now? Now, a commitment, remember, is I'm doing it. So if you feel that you are going to commit to something, maybe a small micro habit, write it in the chat. And again, if you're watching this back, write it down. There's a lot of power in writing this down. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want to commit to anything, that's absolutely fine. There's no judgment here. Don't write it down, because by writing it down, you are telling your mind that you're going to do that. And then if you don't do it, what signal does that send your mind? It sends a signal, I'm a failure, I'm losing it, all those things, okay? So what I'm interested in is if you think, yes, I can commit to something, write it down. That is going to be powerful. Right, lovely. Let's have a little look at what we've got here. At least 2 minutes of exercise every day. Brilliant. Well done. Good. 10 minutes of purposeful exercise every day. If that works for you, if you can do that, great. If not, there's always easier versions as well, obviously. So commit to 2 minutes of exercise, part of my daily routine. Brilliant. Commit to filling up water bottle every morning to encourage my water drinking. Brilliant. Good. Well done. And I'm presuming that's for your day. What I would do is fill it up the night before as well, so you've got it straight away in the morning. Make it even easier. Drinking water when I get up. Brilliant. Yeah, it's something easy to do. Excellent. Let's have a look on the chat. Every wake up, less stressful. Good. So what time? Okay, what time? Put a time. Be specific. You might not know it at the moment, but commit to a certain time with that. Get up slightly earlier. Absolutely. Incorporate a micro exercise routine. Well done. 2 minutes of relaxation. Brilliant. Okay. And again, have a think about maybe when you're going to do that. So that is amazing. So if you would like some help, there's a couple of things that I've created for you. One is 37 morning routine ideas to supercharge your day. So if you want that, that is free for you. We can get that to you. Also, I've got something called habit setting checklist. So if you're developing these habits, it's a great checklist for you to use. Oh yeah, I could do that, I could do that, could do that. It's going to mean that you have more success in setting and maintaining those habits. So Michelle, if you wouldn't mind just putting that slide on for me. This is how you get these. It's a QR code. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully they are useful. It's a QR code, and then you can either scan it in now, or Michelle, I'm sure you'll be able to email people out with this as well. So when Michelle puts this out, you can either do this now or later. What the QR code is, it will take you through to a form. All you need to do is fill that out. That will send me an email, and then I will email you directly and say, right, here's your resources. Okay, so that's all it is. There we go. Wonderful. So just the next slide, I think, Michelle.
Yeah, the slides have just come in. Bear with me.
No problem at all. That's fine. Never easy with the technology, so thank you so much. Also, I think it's going to be my email address as well, so if you want to get in contact, please let me know. If you have any questions, and if you've watched it on YouTube as well, feel free to get in contact with me. So it's coming up in a minute. It's coming up in a minute. If not, I can always go old school and actually put that on there as well. So that's a QR code as well. I'll take you through to the same form, but hopefully Michelle will be able to get those slides. You've got my website there.
My Teams is just gone a bit slow. Bear with me. I'll be there in a second.
No problem at all. No problem at all. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, do reach out. Okay, reach out. Here's the thing. I know that if I've done calls like this, let me that won't work on it. If I've done calls like this, sometimes I've got outstanding questions that I want answered. So if you've got any questions, you've got a couple of options. One is putting in the chat now. After we finish the recording, you can or send me a message, send me an email, connect with me on LinkedIn, whatever it is, and I will answer. Okay, I want you to make sure that you feel yes, there was value in me attending today. So there we go. All right. If not, Michelle will send it back to you, I'm sure. There we go. There we go. She's got it. She persevered. Excellent. All right. So obviously QR code there. We can send this to you anyway. Got my website there, my email address. Do feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm sort of going to bring this to a close again. Thank you so much for contributing, for being part of the chat. Thank you if you're watching this again on YouTube. And again, just have a question yourself. Are you someone again that wants greater success, that more energy, better night's sleep, whatever it is? If it is, then why not give daily routines, a new routine, a go? When you do that, you will be happier. When you do that, you will have greater well-being. Any questions you've got, please let me know. Thank you for listening, and over to yourself, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you, James. I'm just going to very quickly bring up a slide which is our contact details as a healthy workplace program. So anyone not on the call or watching on YouTube, if you'd like to know more, there are the contact details so you can get in touch with us. I'm just going to leave that there for a second. I'm conscious there are a couple of questions in the chat, so I'm just going to go back to James's QR code if you haven't had time to scan it. I'll then stop the recording and we're going to a questions time. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.